either hit up Tasha's Facebook Live or Elitia Mattock's Facebook Live, and we're going to have this conversation from there.
Sorry for the inconvenience. We're having technical difficulty on this one, so seems like we can bring her. We're trying to bring both people on the same line.
How's this one? Tasha, you should have an invite from When Love Works. Elitia Mattock's page, and you could probably jump on that way. Let's try that. Thank y'all for your patience. Hi, Tamika. Oh, Tasha, you're here, so there you go. You have a green button. You should have just gotten an invitation on live. Adding you to the screen. All right, y'all.
Hey.
Yay! I'm trying to share it, so give me 1 second.
Okay.
Yes. Thank y'all for your patience. We got this. We got this.
Okay.
So we're ending it on the When Love Works page. Hopefully everybody went over.
They'll join.
They'll join. Oh, look what we say. Hi, T.O.I. Hopefully they jump over.
You coming now?
Hello, hello.
Yay. So they starting to come now? Is this the new one?
No, that's old messages. Thank y'all for joining. We are having this conversation because it's Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So we're gonna jump on here real quick and have this conversation. Important conversation. Look like we're gonna be holding this phone both of us in this camera. Can y'all see us here?
Whatever works.
Whatever works. First of all, thank you so much for hopping on.
Hey, babe.
That's right. Support. Thank you for hopping on. Again, both of our platforms are important and we're doing great work. We definitely want to hear from you. So you could do another reintroduction, start from scratch this time, and share who you are, your platform, and why you're doing this work.
It's my turn. Okay. So good evening, everyone. First, I'd like to express my sincere thank you to Elitia and Cullen for allowing me to discuss this very important topic on their platform. I am a fan of the two of them and what they do and how they support and coach and teach individuals as well as couples how to love and love themselves in a healthy way and also love one another in a healthy way. So I just absolutely think that the two of you are amazing and you're so cute together. So thank you so much. Again, my name is Latasha McGill. I do go by Tasha Mack. And my platform is called Whole Person Healthy. And Whole Person Healthy is a journey of total wellness in all areas of life. And I started my own journey of being whole person healthy around the end of 2018. I had some things to occur in the middle of 2018. So when the year was ending, I was just reevaluating and reassessing my own self and just wanted to grow. I wanted to grow and to be healthy, not in just one area of my life, but in all areas of life. So Whole Person Healthy, again, is a journey of total wellness in all areas of life. It's with self-care, it's with love in all relationships, not just in romantic relationships, but relationships with others, relationship also with yourself, because that's an important relationship, your spiritual relationship, also with your finances, with your temple, what you actually put inside of your body as far as food and also exercise. So every way that you can be healthy in life, that is my journey of Whole Person Healthy. And I also coach and consult others on their own journey of being whole person healthy, because their journey may not look like mine, but they have to discover what works for them and what that journey of total wellness looks like for them.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Again, the platform is so important. You want to talk a little
bit? Thank you. This is my first time meeting you,
Oh
and
yeah.
Yes.
thank you so much.
Since one of the reunions. Thank
Yeah,
you, T.O.A., for coming over to this page.
yeah,
Yes.
Shaquille is not here to help us with technical difficulty, and doing it virtually is not the same. So thank you for jumping over here.
yeah.
Tasha Mack just shared a little bit about her platform, and Colin and I are co-founders of When Love Works, and our platform is all about building and maintaining healthy relationships, personally and professionally.
Right.
And this month is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and we wanted to really talk about something that's near and dear to both of our hearts and lives,
Right.
and in the work that we do. One of the things that When Love Works is really keen on is making sure that we don't have to have struggle love. So if we could do it proactively,
Yes.
why not? But like Tasha mentioned, similarly, I had challenges with domestic violence, emotional violence, sexual abuse, and physical abuse all before 16 to 17. So it just was very early on. So if I had the tools early on, I really would have enjoyed that preventative, not having to struggle love to get it. So I wanted to jump into this conversation about domestic violence and how it impacts our lives, because both of us are doing work to eradicate how it impacts us. So is there anything you want to start with first that was important and noteworthy about how your journey has impacted how you live life now?
You said
Colin, did you
something
want to
that,
share?
yes, you said something that was so important a few minutes ago about love not being a struggle love. I think that a lot of people have grown up with the idea of, okay, we have to struggle for love. We have to struggle to be in love. We have to struggle in our relationships. Relationships are all about struggle and pain before we get to the utopia of it, if you will. But I think it's so important that people change and shift their paradigms about healthy love and what love is really supposed to look like, and get out of that notion that, okay, this is normal. Because for a lot of us, we thought that was normal, that we struggle
Yep.
and we hurt and we live in pain and agony, and that's how you're supposed to be when you're with a significant other or with family, with friends, or even on a job. And that's just not true. And it took me a long time to realize that. It took me a long time to realize, hey, this isn't healthy. This isn't normal. This isn't right. And I can't keep going on like this. I can no longer exist in toxicity. I can no longer exist in any relationship that is dysfunctional and taking me outside of peace, taking me outside of wholeness, because it wasn't creating a healthy environment for me. So with being whole person healthy, it was a lot of awakening that occurred, and I let go of a lot of people, places, and things that were familiar to me. Sometimes with struggle love and with being abused emotionally, physically, it's a lot of familiarity there. And that's why I was in that cycle for so long, because it was just a lot of familiarity and fear and not trusting myself and not knowing what healthy love and the tools and the principles actually look like. So as I began to grow and seek real healing, like I said, I let go a lot of people and places and things, and it just seemed like my whole world awakened at that point.
You know that.
Yes.
Look, let me tell you.
Congratulations on the
Thank you.
awakening.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. That is so absolutely right. As Black people, we're like a few generations removed from slavery.
Come on now.
So all of us can tolerate unbelievable amounts of bullshit and abuse and neglect and stuff like that. And we've all witnessed it. We've seen it as the norm.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been, and all of us have either told ourselves or heard this growing up that develop a tougher skin, or do this and all that stuff like that. Now I agree with that. That's 50% right. You have to develop a tough skin for out there
Right.
in the
Right.
world. But in your relationships, with your family, your friends, and stuff like that, completely unacceptable. People, you know, love doesn't have an opposite. Somebody that's loving you one day and then not just kicking your ass, excuse my language, but talking down to
Oof.
you and needling away and picking at the fabric of the sweater
Yes.
until it pulls it apart. That if you're getting that every day, that is even more criminal because no cop is gonna come knocking on your door to save you. You will stay there in it thinking this is my mom.
Mm-hmm.
She you know, and so and moms are sacred cows.
Right.
So a mom can pretty much do anything and be and we've heard so many people whose stuff came from moms, and just because it is the mom, they ignore all the
Mm-hmm.
rest of the details. Nobody is immune to the reality that a true friendship is the equal distribution, mutual distribution of love, resources, time,
Yes.
energy, and support. If those things aren't there, and then that person is, first of all, that those things aren't there, it's a bad friend or a non-friend. But if you go the other way where people are actually digging, just doing damage to you and any type of abuse, it it that's definitely a zero tolerance policy for it.
Yes.
You have to have a zero tolerance policy for it
Yes.
because it will destroy you.
Exactly. You're exactly right. And a part of my journey of being whole person healthy, I've learned how to set boundaries, healthy
Right.
boundaries in all of my relationships, including the relationships with my own children. Colin, you may not know I have 4 daughters, and they're all
No, we
young
right there
adults.
with you. We got
Right
grown
there
children.
with you.
Yes,
Right there with you.
I
Right
have
there with you.
learned to set boundaries. So,
Yeah.
I'm not, because, you know, even in my relationships with my children, I've had to let maybe a couple of them know, hey, I'm mom, but mom has feelings. Mom
Right.
has, mom gets tired. Mom
Right.
has a cutoff time.
Right.
I can't, and if I feel as though, okay, I'm not in a space emotionally right now to deal with your young adult drama, then I will revisit that, another time, because I had been in a space where I was just letting people just dump all over me. And honestly, with this journey of whole person healthy, it's a journey. I can't say that I'm just right there every day. Okay, I have it just down packed every day, because that would be telling an untruth. So
That's right.
my
Right.
significant other now, he's great at helping me stay balanced. Because it's a daily process. It's a daily journey.
It,
So
It
I
is.
have to I'm the enforcer of my boundaries. I do not depend
Yes.
on anybody else to enforce those. They're my boundaries. So either you get with it, or you just won't be a part of my world. You'll just be excommunicated, because I can't I can't be in a situation anymore. I'm 43 years old. I want to mature and season gracefully. I can't
right.
I
be
hear you.
outside of my peace and emotional comfort zone and letting people just dump all over me and just tear away at my emotional capacity. So I've learned to set healthy boundaries with everyone. It has been an extreme blessing in my life. When I tell you,
Yes.
it has been a
Yeah.
Yes.
blessing.
I love that was your first step. And one of the things that I really want to put out there for everyone that's viewing, we can't thank you enough for being here. This is an important conversation, and we want you to know that Tasha is putting boundaries. We have to add an asterisk to that, because before you can put boundaries, we have to learn what it looks like. What is mistreatment and what is abuse? And so in our work, we start there. You have to know these 4 markers of what mistreatment is, because people don't automatically set boundaries and say I'm being abused. That's not a thing unless they know what they're looking for,
Right.
right? So it's important to get very clear on how abuse shows up first, then be able to call it out in your family, your friends, your partner, your colleagues, anybody, because that's who you're going to have the boundaries with. You
Right.
have to first know what it looks like, and then know how to say, wait, I don't care who it's coming from. I love me so much that I'm going to call you on it. And so when I see your question, T.R., asking about the young lady, the young people who are thinking that abuse is an expression of love, one of the first things that we would advocate for is for people to know what it looks like.
Okay.
This is what love looks like, and this is what mistreatment looks like.
Right.
You have to start there. It is very important for people to have a clear distinction that is black and white. And I don't care who jumps into gray, you're ready to call upon it. Now, there's a way that you can call people on it and establish boundaries that is loving. And that's what we do in our work, to make sure that you part in love and make sure people have dignity. But I don't care what age it is. You have to be able to name it and call that thing.
Right.
So you're able to say, hey, mom, hey, dad, hey, sibling, what you're doing right now is mistreatment. And therefore, I'm going to have to put these boundaries in place. So I love that you have the boundaries in place. And I want everyone to make sure that you have to make sure you go a step backwards to recognize what mistreatment is first, and then be able to put in boundaries. Because there's a way to do it that you maintain your peace, that you are still in a relationship with them. Because the one thing that we're very clear about, and Colin and I have been doing this work for a while, is that you can't pick your family, but you could be very clear on choosing your tribe and your partner. Amen. Environments, right? So when we do this work, even in workplace environments, it's important for people to be able to call out their supervisors, even call out their colleagues, because it is what it is. You know, and so people have to get very clear, and that's what we come in to really support people on getting clear in it. This is healthy, this is unhealthy. This is mistreatment, this is acceptable behavior. And when you know the difference, you can call anyone out.
Oh, yes. Well, yes.
I also want to bring attention to the fact that, if you notice, this conversation naturally went to family, because I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why I went there. Because you learn, it happens in small trace amounts at home first. So then it becomes comfortable when you go out in the real world. I mean, when you go out to date and work in your work environment, in your dating environment and stuff like that, the seeds have already been planted at home most of the time. So you feel comfortable with somebody like talking down to you, or just you know, just being, I'm just, you know, you know what I'm saying, just completely giving you crap for no reason in the world. I don't want to use more cursing, but it's just like just basically dumping on you and treating you like crap and getting you to the place where that feels like the norm. Right. So when you walk outside, the abuser, they're gonna, if they come at you and you're accustomed to it, it's gonna feel like home. Right. And it's gonna be that familiarity. Very familiar. And oh my God, let me tell you this. Right now in workplaces, I mean, I know even with COVID, nothing changed. In workplaces, work climates are so dysfunctional. I mean, it's a pandemic, and work cultures being dysfunctional too. Yes. And I mean amazingly dysfunctional, where so many people are trying to jump ship and go start their own businesses and get out of those climates because they're so abusive. And I'm just telling you, I'm really, really speaking to Black people, people of color, and telling them that we have put that tough skin on. That is your enemy. Putting that tough skin on is your enemy. No, I don't care how much you can tolerate. Use that for the people that you don't know, the strangers that you don't have any choice in running into. But the people that you're in relationship, which means your job, your family, your partner, if you are still tolerating people that think it's okay to have love and the opposite love in the same relationship, you don't have a love relationship. You're involved in egoic delusion, that person's egoic delusion, or their addiction. So when they get their addiction met, and then you are just like that needle, once they shoot up, you are trash to them after that.
You said a mouthful. You say
we're gonna stop talking. We're gonna stop talking right there, because us and Tasha done dropped some stuff on y'all, and I thank y'all so much for the questions. But we just definitely wanted to invite you to join this conversation, because this is how it starts. Domestic violence is the big header. Right. It's domestic includes everything. It does.
It does. Yes. It does. And once upon a time, when when we would hear the term domestic violence, we only thought it was physical, and we only thought that it was within romantic relationships, whether you with a significant other or a spouse. But it encompasses so much more because it's a broad scope. It's not just with romantic relationships and marriages. It's not just physical violence, you know, and Colin touched on it maybe about 10 minutes ago. That emotional violence, those emotional scars can do so much damage. They can set the foundation for, and you know, for your mental capacity just depleting. You know, like really, people need. I know people who have had to have years of counseling just from emotional abuse. You know, if you have someone who just chipping away at your soul with negativity and toxic words and tearing you down and berating you, it can eat away at you daily, you know, like a cancer. So it's not just, it's important that people know that domestic violence is not a small box. It's not just physical violence, although, you know, physical violence is horrible, and we, you know, I've known people to lose their lives from it. But it's, I promise you, if physical violence is involved, it's not just physical. You know, it's more so than that, and it's not just within, you know, romantic relationships. It's, you know, like you all stated, it's within families, wherever you're close, wherever your closest environments are. If it's at work, I've seen workplace violence, workplace emotional violence. I've had people to come sit in my office and just cry and talk about the way that their supervisor or another coworker have been talking to them, you know, and putting them down. So it's not just within the scope of your home, it's wherever you spend the most time, you know. So it's I've known, honestly, emotional abuse to take place in churches before, you know. And
come on, girl, we ain't got no time.
Girl, and
no time
I've seen people, you know,
no time for that one.
Right. I've seen people use scripture to back it up. So, but you know, people don't want to have that conversation, you know, especially in the Black church. We don't want to have that conversation. We just want to rebuke everybody for calling you out. So, but anyway, you know, it's violence everywhere. You know, we can experience it in all of our close relationships.
And the horrible part about all the other forms of domestic violence or intimate partner violence, you can't even call the cops, even if you wanted to. It's not enforceable. They will look at you and say, that is not enforceable, sir or ma'am.
And that's why, again, we do this work, because we don't believe in struggle love. I'm not waiting for anyone outside of me to tell me what I know I'm feeling and naming as mistreatment. And so we want to equip everybody with that same level of confidence, but actually with the tools so they can know how to call it when it shows up.
Because gaslighters will get you to believe that what's happening to you isn't even real. They will look. This is look. They will cut you, watch you bleed, and then check. And then I'm talking about metaphorically now. Cut you, watch you bleed, and then say, I ain't do nothing, and then make you
stick to the story.
Make you build a case for now you already suffering from the initial pain, and now you got to become a goddamn counselor and go into the courtroom and argue your own case with somebody that's not invested in owning and believing in your truth.
You are exactly right.
So, I've been there. It's important that we don't win the struggle love awards. It's important to us that we are showing up the best way we can for ourselves. It's important to us because just because we're survivors, and we started this conversation by saying we are survivors and victims over several types of abuse, doesn't mean that we want to wear that as a badge of honor. We're very clear that I don't want to be known as the person who had to endure sexual abuse or, you know, and being beat in domestic violence and physical violence in high school. I don't want to be known as that. But what I am going to do is I'm going to make sure that I'm advocating for my humanity. And so all the work that we do at Winlow Work is really catered to around how you showing up in your humanity and getting the tools to speak for yourself and advocate for yourself, no matter who it is.
Yes.
This work that you're doing at Whole Person Healthy came out of your personal journey.
Right.
The work at Whole When Love Works came out of our personal journey, and we know that this work is impactful for lives and generations to come, because our family members are watching us.
Yes.
The same tools we use with our clients, we could use on our own family members. I use it on, look, this was a 2-year journey for me and my mama, y'all. Look, that's real. And for our children, it was like a 2.5-year journey, because we have 3 grown children.
Right.
But the fact still remains, I don't care who you are, you still deserve love.
Right.
You deserve to be loved in a way that's healthy. And therefore, you're going to have to be very clear and get very good at spotting mistreatment and abuse and calling it, and then having a plan of action to offset it when it shows up. No matter who it shows up with.
It's important that people, I'm sorry.
No, you don't need anybody else to co-sign your stuff.
Right.
You know, love doesn't have an opposite. If you feel bad, run.
Oh my goodness.
You ain't supposed to be in that relationship. What are you doing? The person that's in that relationship, when you get into intimate, when you're choosing an intimate partner, you're choosing somebody to be your co-CEO, somebody that has your back, that's on your side, that's on your team. If they make you feel bad, and that love has an opposite, that's just that person. They can't hold that mask up no longer.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
That mask starts to get real heavy. They can't hold it up no more.
What were you about to say, Tasha?
You said something a few minutes ago, Alicia, and it's important because I had to realize. You said people deserve love. I had to realize I deserved healthy love. No matter what my background was, no matter how many babies I had, no matter what my experiences were, I deserve love. I deserve to be a queen, treated like a queen, and I had to treat myself that way first. Long before Pete came along, I had to know within Tasha that I deserve love, and I'm a queen. I'm all that. You know, it doesn't matter what happened in the past or what my background was or whatever. I had to love me, all of me, of me. And I want people to realize it doesn't matter what your age is, what happened in your past, how many relationships, whatever, how many baby mamas or baby daddies you have, because we all, you know, we need to call these things out. You know, and that right there, I'll be honest, that played on my psyche for years. You know, I no, all of my children are not by one individual. That played on my psyche for years, and I'm not ashamed to say that, because I love me, and I love children, and I'm the bomb. Right. So I'm not. I don't need somebody else's validation to say, "Oh, you deserve love," even though you got kids that don't have all of one fault. That play, and then the thing about it, and when you get with someone who you share the things that hurt you or the things that you're not comfortable with, they used it against me 1,000 times more. So it played on my psyche. But hey, when this whole person healthy journey began, and I started healing and looking at me like, I don't have to be with anybody toxic because of my past or whatever. I love me, and I do right by me, and I treat myself well, and I've accomplished a lot, and I'm still growing. So it's important that people know it does not matter what you've been through, what you've done, or how old you are. You deserve healthy love.
Yeah. And that goes back to that family model too.
Yes.
When you come out of the gate, being crushed by people that's in your inner circle, the people that have been put in your life to love you, if anything about that relationship is conditional, or you know, anything about it is conditional, you know what I'm talking about.
Because
now for the rest of your life, your confidence is impaired. But if you take a kid who was accepted for who they are, you can't do anything to you can't move their confidence. They know who they are. Those foundational years are important.
Right.
But a lot of times in families, people will use anything they can against you to as a form of control
Right.
as they're raising you. And but it's too high of a price to
It
put on
is.
somebody.
That part right there, Colin. It's too high of a price.
Yes.
It's too high of a price to pay for
Yes.
to stay in a relationship or any situationship, any
Right.
family ship, friendship. If it's too high of a price to pay, you need to jump ship. And
That's right. And with a parent, if before you take that route, improve your argument.
yeah,
Like, you know what I'm saying? Improve your argument. Take a little creativity and a little time and sit down and think about what's a better way that I can try to reach my kid.
yeah, and because
Instead of breaking their wings.
I had to do it. I had to learn that. Let me tell you something. The last child got the best of me in my communication skills, but I recognize that I couldn't be a hypocrite because I was the 12-year-old saying, "Wait, excuse me, no, that ain't love to me. I don't know what you call that." To my family members, to my family, and people will treat you different. So we want to be very clear. This is just the beginning of a conversation that we're having in this important, month that's recognized. Come on the camera, baby. That's recognized for domestic violence. But we know domestic violence, again, just like we're naming, domestic violence is a big header that can involve intimate partner, family members, colleagues. It shows up in that area because sometimes you come home after being abused in a toxic workplace, and your friends. And so we want to have people not just know how to run, because some people don't know how to run, but we want people to actually know how to spot it, know how to call it in the moment, know how to navigate it and offset it so you can run. And we want you to be able to prevent it from going forward. So because we want all of these things for you, the same thing it also means that we don't want you to win any struggle Olympics award. We don't want no struggle love, right? So in order for us to make sure that you get these tools, we wanted to invite you to join us Thursday night. Now, Thursday we're having a workshop, and Tasha gonna be there again, but we're gonna actually share you on the how to, because you have to know what you're up against, what mistreatment looks like. Like, people have been using the word gaslighting and narcissism recently, but there are so many others that show up in homes that we didn't even know that we were accustomed to at 5. And so we want to be very clear on what those things are and how they sneak in subtly, and we want to give you some tools. So we want you to join us Thursday so that you can actually be clear to ask your questions, to talk about how it shows up, to get the actual tools, to name it and call it, and to set your boundaries, because there are steps to being clear and free and peaceful and having this whole healthy journey where you actually love yourself. No one is disqualified from love. No one. You can't line up anybody that we've met that's disqualified. But we know that started with us. We live so freely because we know we deserve love, and you deserve it too. So we're inviting you to join us Thursday. Any final comments, thoughts, Colin, Tasha, before we jump off, because we have a dating series right after this.
Awesome. So I just want to again thank you both. Colin, it's really nice to meet you. I
Likewise.
Pictures and video of you as well, but it's so nice to meet you and to see you both. Again, I just want to reiterate what Alita was saying. If you are able to, please join the workshop on Thursday and the other series that they host in their business, When Love Works, because you can't fight what you don't know. You can't heal what you don't know. If you don't know the correct terms, if you don't know how to articulate what you're feeling and what this abuse looks like, you don't know what to do. You don't know how to combat it. You don't know how to grow and to move forward. And that was part of my journey as well, because it was certain things I just didn't know. I didn't know the correct terms. Like, in my article I wrote about, I had heard the term narcissism before, but it was a term. You heard it until I started actually growing and healing and researching things, like, oh my goodness. And then when you start putting vocabulary to these certain phrases and things, and then you put context and content to it, it's more of an epiphany. So I encourage all of you, please, if you can, join the workshop on Thursday night. And also, they have an entire series about when love works. Also, they work with individuals and also couples, because we all need it, you know. And like I said, I'm still on this journey, and I've learned so much since I began this journey. And I again appreciate the two of you and your teachings and what you're doing. It's so important. It's important, especially to our culture. It's important because, you know, I had to
That part.
I had to unlearn a lot of things before I can learn new things, you know.
Right.
And that was a struggle in itself to, okay, shift my paradigm and unlearn things that were embedded in me for like 40 years. You know, so I know that you all have the tools to help people to unlearn those toxic behaviors and toxic tricks that they grew up with. And a lot of folks sometimes they get stuck on tradition. Well, my grandmother went through it, my mama went through it, my dad and them did it. So, you know, it's just the norm. You know, we love our family. We do. We love them. We love Big Mom and them, but we don't have to do everything Big Mom and them did.
That's part.
Right. That's
that
right.
part.
That's right.
Thank you so much for the
Thank
shout
you.
out. Thank you for being here. Listen, y'all, what Tasha said, everything Tasha said, and know that it won't have to take you 40 years to unlearn it. We are going to help you accelerate your process.
Yes.
Because listen, we're going to love you to life. The key word is life. Because we want you to live a full life. So even if you have bad habits of unhealthy relationships and unhealthy love for 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, listen, we had clients in their 60s. You still could get it done within 4 weeks, within one workshop. You can get it done. Listen, so treat yourself because you deserve love. We don't need to, we're not trying to win no journey of struggle. So thank you so much for the shout out. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your journey. Oh, I'm sorry, baby. Go ahead.
I have some closing words.
That's
too.
right. Close it out.
Give yourself a break. To everybody that's listening, give yourself a break. There's over 4,000 universities in the United States of America, and less than 1% of them have they have curricula that address healthy relationship culture. So where would you have learned it?
We the 1%.
So give yourself a break. But we'll see you on Thursday.
Thank you. Y'all have a good night.
You too. Thank you.
Thank
Bye,
you.
y'all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank y'all for watching.